morning, my tribe, my XRP army, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're all doing well this Sunday. So I want to talk a little bit more about, it's not really a dip, was it? That was a crash. That was a crash. I've heard that it's the biggest crash going in all of crypto. And it may be for current times, but I believe that Bitcoin had some epic crashes of near 50%. Don't know if it was in the same time period. This all happened within a day. And speaking of that, when you think of the stock market, there's a delay in the stock market and finding out who did what and this, that, and the other, typically. And you can watch the politicians to know, to kind of backtrack it and understand what went on and why it went on and this, that, the other. With crypto, you know almost instantly. And there was 30 minutes before the announcement of tariffs on China by the current administration, a short order placed on Bitcoin. 30 minutes. And when it closed, when that short order closed, that bag had made $200 million. I don't really believe in coincidences like that. I believe in cause and effect. What does that say? It says business as usual. This has always been this way. It has always been this way. It always will be this way. People in positions of power will take whatever advantage they can of it. Take that for what it's worth. Is there greater good than there is negativity? I think so. But please, what I really want to get to you today is that with all the good news and this, that, and the other, and the hope, and you must understand that the math is still continuing, and it doesn't care. The evolution of the monetary cycles doesn't care. It just keeps going on and on. We can delay it a little bit, we can kick the can down the road, but eventually the math catches up to you and people lose confidence. Once people have lost confidence, the game is over and it's time to reset the game. Remember the Great Reset? They kind of stopped talking about it, but it's still happening. You need to position yourself so that you will not be overrun by this great reset. And what it means is getting rid of the worldwide debt. And for you and I, mostly it will matter for the debt in the United States. And for the 5% of my viewers in the United Kingdom, it means that for you also. You may be closer to it than the United States. But you do need to be ready for it, because it doesn't care. Math does not care. It just keeps coming. So what do you do to prepare yourself? You get out of paper. Paper is just that. It's a piece of paper and it's a promise. People break their promises all the time. Governments especially break their promises all the time. This one will be no different. I don't see any way to save it. Someone please point that out to me. Stable coins, yes, but stable coins kick the can down the road. That is what they do. They don't change the amount of debt. The government needs to wipe out 90 to 99% of its debt. The United States government. Governments elsewhere around the world need to do the same thing. And typically they do that through inflating it until they can't inflate it anymore. Then they repudiate it, and you turn in your old currency at an exchange rate of 1,000 to 1 or 100 to 1 or 10,000 to 1 or whatever the number is, to bring it down to a reasonable level, and then they continue on. You get the new currency, and it's the same old structure. So the inflation begins almost immediately, actually immediately, because they're printing from day one. If you understand these cycles, you can position yourself to do quite well. I have Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin orders. I'm sorry. I have XRP, XLM, and ADA orders in, limit orders. They didn't take last night. I thought maybe there'd be a dip back down to somewhere original, but no, the line's holding kind of sort of right now. What do we do? Where do we go from here? It is good news. It's exciting times. If you're positioned for it, you can greatly increase your financial position. If you are not ready for it, you can be wiped out. You need to educate yourself. Look into these things. Learn about how governments reset their financial systems. What does that even mean? Do your research. Look into fiat currency cycles. Just get on Google or ChatGPT and ask it, how do governments wash away their debts? And that's the beginning of your education. It's simple like that. It's very simple. And then begin digging deeper and deeper and begin to understand the history of central banks and what they do and what they're all about and how the math works in a central banking system and what goes on in the nations that are involved with it. There's a great opportunity here for you to launch yourself forward and have generational wealth. What does that mean? It means you got so much money you can't spend it all, and you pass it on to your children, and they pass it on to your children because you've bought businesses and apartment buildings and houses and rental properties and things that generate income. You bought businesses, distressed businesses that had great opportunities, but the person owning it got themselves into debt. Therefore, they had to sell their business at a nickel on the dollar. And you bought it at a nickel on the dollar. And maybe you hired the guy as a manager and kept his family fed. Who knows? Those are the kinds of things that are coming. And it won't be stopped. We may delay it a little bit more, which is opportunity to load up. But we cannot stop it. It won't be stopped. History does not have any examples of it being stopped, of it being averted. It's always the same old tired story, endlessly looping throughout the world. And every nation on earth today, with the exception of one or two, it might be like Liechtenstein and Switzerland, have debt-based currency systems, and they're all in different stages of the cycle. Inflation, hyperinflation, repudiation. They all do that. Sometimes there's deflation because of the government reduces its debt a little bit through something, but then that there's a lagging effect in that decreases the amount of taxes that governments take in, and then that causes them to print more currency or to increase the tax rates. It's all a big game, folks. When you don't have sound money that can't be inflated, like XRP cannot be inflated, when you don't have that, shenanigans happen. Could you hear the crow fly past? The wings fluttering? Let me know in the comments section below. Let me know in the comments section below what you're doing to protect yourself from inflation that is coming. I want to know. Share the video, share it out, subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. I would like to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That would be awesome. Kind of a lofty goal, but we'll see what happens. God bless y'all. Take care, and I'm out.